After knowing the concept of valency, today we shall learn about the atomic number and the atomic mass number. So let us see what is meant by atomic number. So atomic number, the total number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom is called atomic number, and atomic number of an element is denoted by Z. Okay. So what is atomic number? Atomic number is given for any, there are totally 118 elements in the periodic table, and each element has its own atomic number. So on what basis the atomic number has been allotted for the elements? So there must be some scientific reason so that the number has been allotted for them, right? And hence the reason is that that atomic number, it represents the total number of protons. An atom is composed of three main particles, that is neutrons, electrons and protons, and this atomic number is based on the number of protons present in the element. Okay, so it will be based on the number of protons present in the atom of an element, and hence this atomic number will be denoted by the symbol Z. So to represent the atomic number of an element, we will use the symbol Z. Whereas atomic mass number, so the sum of total number of protons and neutrons. Okay, protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom is called mass number. So mass number is the sum. Sum means here addition. Okay, we are adding. What we are adding? We will add both proton and the neutrons. Okay, so the number of protons and neutrons together the counted number of these two will represent the mass number. Whereas atomic number will be the total number of only protons. So only number of protons will represent the atomic number, whereas protons plus neutrons together they will give the mass. Mass is nothing but the weight of that particular atom of the element, and this mass number will be varied from element to element and the atom to atom. And now how to write this atomic number and mass number of a given element? In notation, for an atom, the atomic number, mass number and the symbol. So the atomic number, mass number and the symbol. These three of an element will be presented in this form. So if you are going to write this element in the periodic table, then you might have observed that each element will be presented in this type of notation. So for example, if there is a symbol of the element here, so you have to place the element here, and at the top left you have to write the mass number, whereas the down right you have to represent the atomic number. For this, let's take an example, nitrogen. So I will write the symbol for the nitrogen will be N. So the symbol for nitrogen is N and its mass number is 14, whereas atomic number is 7. So an example for the notation of writing the atomic number, mass number and the symbol of an element. So in this way, the elements will be presented in the periodic table. Now let us see it graphically to understand it in a still more better way.
Chemistry gives answers to many queries. It acts as a bridge between the theoretical concepts and the practical world. However, where does chemistry get all the answers from? How do the reactions change everything around us so drastically? Well, the answers are stored inside the small nuclei of atoms. Yes, the tiny nucleus inside every atom is like a treasure box. It holds the mystery of several reactions. Now the next question to pop in our mind is, how does the nucleus of a single atom define the reactions in which the atom is participating? That's right. It's the subatomic particles in the nucleus, the protons and the neutrons that are the influencing factors. Yes, the presence and the number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of any atom define many important characters like the atomic number, atomic mass, isotopic forms, and so on. Wait a second. Do we know what these are? What do we mean by atomic number? How is it different from the atomic mass, and what exactly are isotopes? Let's begin with the atomic number first. Atomic number is denoted by the letter Z. As the name suggests, atomic number means the number assigned to a particular atom. Now I want you to think, on what basis should an atom be assigned a number? Should it be on the basis of when the atom was discovered, or on the basis of how much quantity of the element is present in nature? What factor can be applied for numbering the atoms or the elements in general? One promising way is by numbering based on the number of protons present inside the nucleus of the atom. Yes, it's because the atom of every element has fixed number of protons in its nucleus. And this number is unique to every element, right? What do we mean by this? For example, any atom of oxygen always has 8 protons in its nucleus. No other element has atoms with 8 protons in it. That means the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom is like the identity of that element. So can we number the atoms or elements based on the number of protons in the atomic nucleus? Yes, this is how atomic numbers are defined. Atomic number, in simple words, is the number of protons present in the nucleus of the atom. Why do we need an atomic number, by the way? The atomic number helps in defining the characteristics of the element. And why so? Just think about it. We know that the number of electrons is equal to the number of protons in an atom. We also know that the number of electrons will determine the valency and thus the reactive capacity of an atom. So now can we connect the dots? Yes, the characteristics of elements will include a few properties. And these properties will be based on the reactivity of the atoms, right? We also know that the reactivity depends on the number of electrons present in the atom. And the number of electrons is the same as the number of protons. So this is why the characteristics of atoms are largely dependent on the atomic number. That is the reason the atomic number, or simply the number of protons, is important to us. Well, we know that atoms are the fundamental units of every matter. So can you guess what could the size of a single atom be? And do all the atoms of different elements have the same atomic size? Let's study the concept of atomic size in detail. Now let's understand atomic mass in detail. Before that, can you tell me what exactly the concept of atomic number is? Can you define it once for me? Yes, it's simply the number of protons present inside the nucleus of an atom. Now on similar lines, can you tell me what atomic mass could be? Yes, it simply means the mass of an atom. But how does it get determined? Imagine we have a bag which is made up of extremely thin material. So thin that it almost does not have any mass of its own. Now we fill this bag with some stuff inside. If this bag is placed on a weighing scale, then can we say that the total mass of the bag will be the sum of the mass of all the objects inside it? Absolutely. Similarly, the mass of an atom can be calculated with the help of the subatomic particles in it. But we know that among all the subatomic particles, electrons have negligible mass. That is, they are considered to be almost weightless. So what are we left with? Yes, we have both protons and neutrons in the nucleus. And these two do have some amount of mass is what we know. Now tell me one thing, which among these two particles should be considered? Shall we consider only the mass of protons or only the neutrons? Or both together? Well, since both have a significant amount of mass, we will consider the mass of both together. Hence, the atomic mass is defined as the total number of protons and neutrons present inside the nucleus of the atom. It is also referred to as the mass number. Let us take a simple example. In case of a simple element like fluorine, we find that there are 9 protons and 10 neutrons in the nucleus. Wait a second. We have always come across cases when the atomic nucleus has an equal number of protons and neutrons. So how is it that the number of neutrons is more? Well, tell me, does the presence of additional neutrons really bother the atom? Does the charge of the atom increase or decrease? Absolutely not. That's because they're neutral. Then why should an extra neutron bother us? So coming back to the atomic mass of fluorine, we have 9 protons and 10 neutrons. That means the total would give us 19. So can we say that the atomic mass of fluorine is 19 units? That's right. Just like fluorine, even aluminium has an extra neutron compared to the number of protons. That is, in a single atom of aluminium, we have 13 protons and 14 neutrons. Summing up the two, we get 27 units, which is the atomic mass of aluminium. Now let's take another random example of chlorine. A chlorine atom has 17 protons and 18 neutrons. That means the atomic mass of chlorine will be 35 units, right? Absolutely. But wait a second. A few chlorine atoms that exist in nature exhibit a different form. Some of them have 17 protons and 20 neutrons. That gives us the atomic mass of chlorine as 37 units. So which one is the correct atomic mass? In case of chlorine, both the atomic masses are right. The atoms having 17 protons and 18 neutrons have an atomic mass as 35 units. On the other hand, chlorine atoms with 17 protons and 20 neutrons have an atomic mass of 37 units. But now the next question to pop up in our minds is, how can we have one element having 2 different kinds of atoms? And is this valid only for chlorine? Or are there other elements also which exhibit this phenomenon? Let's find out more about this mysterious concept of isotopes.
And hence, in the next class, we will discuss about the concept of the isotopes and isobars.